when we do the pledge, we've gotten into the habit as a board of asking our special guests to come forward and lead us in that pledge. And so I don't think there are any greater guests tonight for us than our retiree group. If they could come forward and lead us. Just come on. Thank you all for being voluntold.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all very much. So you've had an opportunity to look at our agenda, and everything looks good, and we don't need to add anything. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Do you want to make a change?
I do. I would like to request to make a change. On behalf of our staff, I would like to request to cancel Friday, May 26th as a student school day. We've been able to preserve a lot of our days. We know that we've kind of gone a little bit beyond, but we feel like Friday we're able to kind of be able to take off of the calendar. And I would respectfully request that be able to do that. Unfortunately, I cannot request to do more simply because of the assessment calendars and things that are taking place that would be greatly impacted. But I do want to be able to have that.
May I have a motion, if there's any discussion, to add it to items for action?
Oh, yeah, okay.
I move that we add the, remove the shortening of the calendar by a half a day to the items for action.
Is that right?
Okay. Have a second?
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Anyone abstain? Okay. So we will add 2 items for action to approve the request to remove the date May 26th from the school calendar, thus making May 25th the last day of school. So we'll need to add that as an item for action. Good enough. Thank you, guys. So now that we've added that to the agenda, may I have a motion to approve the agenda now as amended?
I move that we approve the agenda as amended.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Anybody abstain? Okay. The agenda is approved with the amendments. Thank you, guys. And thank you for adding that on. I'm sure staff were saying, thank you very much.
Well, I think there may be a few students out there that might be feeling that way as well.
So this is the best part of the evening, we always say. It's the recognition of lots of good people tonight and presentations. And so I'm going to ask Dr. Hester to come forward first for the recognition of our retirees. I think this is such a spectacular point in your career. It's like we all get excited about the start of the career, but the ending you get to reflect back. And so we've had some good reflections earlier.
Yeah, I usually go up in front of everybody. I don't know why I just did that. But, well, we had a wonderful opportunity to invite our retirees to join us for a retiree celebration. And we appreciate everybody who was able to make it out for that. But at this time, we also publicly want to be able to recognize our soon-to-be retirees. I've had a chance to kind of ask about some individuals and what their plans are. It seems like there is a few, I'm going to go to the beach and I'm going to figure it out after that, which I cannot blame them one bit. So at this time, if you are still here, we would like to be able to formally recognize you and thank you for your years of service. And it's Karen Campbell from Rockfish River Elementary. I don't believe she was able to stay with us for the school board meeting, but Karen Campbell is at Rockfish River Elementary and has had 10 years of service here in Nelson County Public Schools, so thank you very much. Next up, Ms. Donna Dowdy, who has had 43 years of service here in Nelson County and has served a multitude of roles at all levels, and we just want to thank her. She's currently an instructional aide at Tide River Elementary and was also not able to stay with us for this portion, but was able to join us for the ceremony. And 43 years is a lifetime, and to be able to dedicate that to our students, our staff, and our county, I just have the utmost respect for that. And we have several others who have had a great number of years as well. But Ms. Dowdy, I appreciate everything. Next up from Nelson Middle School, we have Ms. Tammy McCrae, who has served 37 years. You can come on up. currently serving at the middle school as science teacher and a taskmaster of all things, but really great at wanting to become involved with those students, and sometimes those students that maybe have drifted away from the path for a little bit, but creating those relationships, be able to kind of understand what they're going through and be able to kind of get them back on that path. So we appreciate everything you've done for Nelson County, Nelson Middle School, and all of our students, and also the relationships you have with our staff. So thank you so much. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you. Next up is Miss Sharon Lawhorn, sorry. I'm just making names up now. Lawhorn. It's that time of year. It's everything going on. Ms. Lawhorn is a bookkeeper at the middle school, and so we appreciate everything that has taken place, and just judging by the comments of many of those who work with you, their respect for you and your total knowledge of bookkeeping, which, as anybody knows anything about a school, like the fastest way to get in trouble is with money. And so your faith and confidence of keeping Mr. Baleko and all of us in line and doing what we need to do is it's no small feat. Working with teachers and money, the simplest things sometimes with everything else going on flies right out of our heads, but it sounds like you've done a really great job of being able to work with everybody and keep them doing what they're supposed to be doing. And with 39 years of experience, we just greatly appreciate your commitment to Nelson County and all of our students and staff. So thank you so much, very much. Congratulations. Thank you. Next up is Lee Thompson. Lee Thompson is currently serving at Nelson County High School and has been so for 18 years, an English teacher, and has served in many capacities, but as Mr. Walker was sharing a lot of the viewpoints of Lee, one of the repeating compliments and memories that people have is your smile and how engaging you were and friendly, and people look forward to being able to see you kind of posted up in your spot and being able to have a chance to talk to you. Commented on, and I can see it now, your style and flair. The flip-flops are matching with the dry. It's impressive. But I think, when we think about things that people remember us, and what makes, our hearts full is knowing that we've made an impact in other people's lives, and to know that positively impacting people, and what they'll remember about you is your smile and how you made them feel. And for us as educators, that's huge. So we want to thank you for your years of service. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Other individuals that we want to celebrate is Susie Bell. I don't think Susie was able to stay with us, but Susie is in our transportation department, one of those individuals that has been with Nelson County for a very, very long time, 24 years. And in transportation, if it has wheels, more than likely you're going to be asked to drive it. And it sounds like Susie was definitely one of those individuals. And, I am one of those people that didn't have a great start to education. It was a bumpy road, but my first memory of school was my school bus driver, Sylvia. And from kindergarten to 4th grade, that was the first person I saw every morning connected to the schools, and the last person I saw. And so those school bus drivers and all of our drivers make such a difference in our students' lives. And I just appreciate their dedication, because it's not an easy job. It's hard to find drivers, and there's a reason why it's tough. And you've got precious cargo, and your job is to get to and from school safely, and we just appreciate that. So thank you so much, Susie Bell, for your 24 years of service. And additionally, another driver in transportation who is retiring this year is Dorothy Means, and she had 27 years experience. And just like Ms. Bell drove, if it had wheels, she was driving it, she's been asked to drive it. And again, those memories that students have of her and the staff have of her are the relationships that she's been able to establish. And again, it makes all the difference in the world for our students to be able to have those connections and meaningful relationships with those adults, because again, first people they see connected to our schools, and the last people they see connected to our schools, so it makes all the difference. Maintenance, Mr. Kenny Stevens, he wasn't able to make it here with us today, but Kenny had 31 years of experience in working with Nelson County, and we just appreciate all the hard work. Our maintenance crew is not the largest out there, and we have a pretty expansive division in terms of the space that we have in our buildings, and they are constantly working very, very hard. It's not easy, but they do it with a smile. They're in and out of all of our buildings, so they get a chance to see a lot of our kids and a lot of our staff, and we just appreciate how hard they work for us. So thank you so much, Mr. Stevens. And last but not least, Ms. Sarah Wood. Ms. Sarah Wood has served with us for 23 years. She's held many different positions here in central office, and just as you can see right now, her smile is one of the first things that you're going to see, but also her warm and friendly greeting. She's the voice that a lot of times people are going to hear answering the phone, especially on those days with inclement weather. She's the one who got to take some of those phone calls and asking questions about some of the things. So she does a fantastic job of being that warm greeter, not only in the hallway but on the phone, but also then having that institutional knowledge of how to work through some things, and then working with all the different individuals in central office and being able to support them, and doing so in such a supportive way. And something that's near and dear to my heart, you love women's basketball. And I remember the conversations and how you started. I'm like, oh my gosh, somebody knows about women's basketball. That's fantastic. Never mind UVA, so it's even better. But I just appreciate how welcome you've made me feel here, and seeing you every day. She's the individual that gets here first and goes around and opens up everybody's office and kind of makes you feel like you're getting to kind of come into your second home during the day. So I just appreciate everything that you've done. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So the next part of our recognitions is something that our board very directly is involved with, and that's called the VSBA Business Honor Roll Award. So every year, VSBA, which is the Virginia School Board Association, it's the school board group that we all line up to statewide. And we are allowed to pick a business that we feel like partners, exemplifies, and is that community member that is so impactful to our schools and our ability to perform at a high level. You know, one of the things we've talked about in Nelson County and our schools here is that while we may not be the largest district, when you look at the success across our district, whether it's academic, whether it's athletic, whether it's theater, whether it's FFA, CTE, we've been able to be very, very successful. And a lot of that ties not just back to our staff and our schools, but also our community partners and our community members. And so this year, there was no question when we were asked who the three businesses or three people we wanted to recognize as our honor roll partners were. It would be Ben Butler with Kapler Homes and Ben Butler Excavating and Septic, Ann's Family Restaurant, and then Blue Dog Associates. And so we're going to ask Ann and Jay Ray. Well, come on, Ann, we'll do you. Come on. That we recognized earlier is Ann's sister. And so you will see that that family is very connected. Also Sharon's, your sister-in-law, Sharon. The family is very connected and very tied to our educational community. And Ann, over the years, when there's ever anything that needs to be done, or ever a school group that needs something, Ann always offers. She's helped with Honor Society. She's helped with theater. She's helped with sports, with FFA. She gives and she gives and she gives. And so if you don't know, she's closed a lot of days on Saturdays. And she will specifically, for our school groups, will open back up on Saturdays, and those profits, those proceeds from that day, she donates directly. That's on top of also, I can't tell you how many pans of coleslaw over the years I've picked up from Ann for different events. And so we say to you, thank you, that we absolutely could not function as a school system without the support of people like you. And I hope you know how much we appreciate it. Somebody doing pictures. Don't go anywhere, Ann.
Oh, no. The lady in the green sweater.
Come on here. Caesar just wants to hug you. And the next one we're going to recognize is Mr. Butler. If you could come on up with Ben Butler, Excavating and Septic, and Capital. As you recognize these businesses and these people, I think you're going to see a common theme that they support not just one thing, maybe their children, or they support one avenue. They support across the entirety of our system. So I think you've been a football coach, you've hauled turf, you have helped with theater, you apparently have one of the quickest fundraising situations that Greg Mullins tells us that in a short period of time, you raised a whole lot of money to support our systems. Let's see, you're an athletic sponsor, and your sponsorship is continuous over the years and across a whole lot of support within our system. And we want to say to you, thank you very much for all that you do. We see you, we recognize you, and we appreciate it. Thank you very much, we appreciate it. So he Yes, in the honor of service and giving back, he's got to get to a soccer team. Okay, so, yes, thank you again. And finally, we want to recognize Blue Dog Associates. For those of you that don't know, Blue Dog is a local company that does prepared meals and prepared meal delivery. But what they have done for us is always be an incredible backup, whether it is when our freezers go down, and you know that if you have a freezer full of food and the power's out, you need backup and you need it very quickly. And Blue Dog never hesitates to step in and support us. They also allow us to borrow equipment for the toy lift, and so we have a very generous community, and it requires a big truck to carry everything out for the toy lift. The other thing is that the gentleman who owns Blue Dog is Danny Johnson, and when we have those equipment failures that require the fire department to respond, Mr. Johnson is a member of the fire department. He's always quickest to get there to us to ensure that things are going well. So we want to thank Blue Dog, appreciate their support, and really, more importantly, we appreciate everybody in the community that gives back, but especially these three this year. Thank you. And tell Dot that we missed her tonight. Thank you all. So now we are down to the recognition of our student reps. This is when they grow up and they move beyond us. So I'm going to have Dr. Hester.
Yes, so one of the initiatives, not only of Nelson County School Boards, but really among school boards in Virginia, is to make sure that we're incorporating student voice into not only these proceedings, but into the general operations of schools. Because sometimes, in the greater scheme of things, everything gets going, and we forget to take a step back and ask the people who are directly impacted on a day-to-day basis about some of the things that we're doing, and that's our students. And I've had an opportunity to work with some students, and they can give you some really great feedback. And a lot of times it can be spot on, and it might not always be what you think you're going to hear, but it's definitely most of the time exactly what you need to hear. And so having these representatives be able to be here on school board nights, these individuals are typically very, very busy. They are heavily involved and engaged students, not only at the division level, but at their school level. And so to be able to take this time once a month every night, once a month every, wow, just try that again. Once a night every month at the school board meeting, we greatly appreciate it. And today I'd like to say thank you very much to Kira Tuttle. Thank you for representing the students of Nelson County Public Schools, not just the high school, but of all of our students. So thank you very much. I'm going to give you this. I'm going to smile at the lady and give you this one. And unfortunately, our next representative was not able to make it here tonight, and that's Chiara Chi Harris. So I'm sure I may have messed that name up, but I got the Chi part right. But I know she's also heavily involved in a lot of different events, and we just want to say thank you very much to Ms. Harris as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Kira, we will miss you as you move on to the next stage of life, but thank you for the last couple of years and your input and your support. So now we're down to the comments and reports from board members section. I will start, Mr. Chief, you're on the end.
Okay, so thank you everybody for coming, and I apologize that most of the retirees are gone, but I wasn't able to make it to the reception this afternoon because of work obligations, but I'm always, every time we do this, I've gotten to the age now where I'm trying to figure out if there was anybody in this group that was there when I was there. And there's a couple.
Getting close.
There's a couple. Getting close. So, but congratulations to everyone, and to our community partners that we recognized on the VSBA Business Honor Roll this year. Couldn't think of a better group of businesses to honor that have been so selfless to the school system. And it's really, I say this all the time about things, but it is truly unsung work, because most people in the general public have no idea what these people give, because they don't stand up and say, hey, I did that. So it's selfless. So congratulations to them. That's
Thank you. Mrs. Slayer?
pick up where I left off. So, And thank you to our student representatives.
I want to repeat and emphasize what Mr. Chief said. It's always fun for me because I didn't go to school at Nelson, to see, people who have been here for 35, 40 years. It's crazy. It's crazy. And when everybody knows each other and they've raised, each other you grew up on, as a baby, you
Thompson.
grew up on,
Miss Thompson.
yeah, really good stuff. So, and congratulations to them all. I hope they have a great, next stage of their lives. I mean, some of those teachers have actually taught my kids, because my kids went through this school year. Also, with the volunteers that we recognize, it is important to recognize, the level of commitment they have to the schools because, it really does take a village, the whole community to come in and help us be as effective as we need to be to serve the kids. And then of course, the student reps play a significant part of connection with the students because we're doing this all for the students and we need to have that line. And so thank you so much for playing that role. It's really important. And I know it does take a long time and I know it's a lot of boring sitting on that hard chair. So I appreciate it. Totally with you. I did want to report also that I went to the budget meeting, or it was like it wasn't a workshop, it was a public hearing on Tuesday night, and the budget was presented as part of a few public hearings going on that night, so they presented the budget, it's like $50 million. I sent the presentation to the board so you guys could look at it at your leisure, and if anybody else wants to see it, it's on I think it's on the government website. But I will say, I was a little bummed that the way it was presented was similar to the way it has been presented in years past. Having said that, they are going into this year funding, I think it was 78.5% of what our requested budget was. The only sticking point was whether to take the raise to 5% or to 7%, which they could still do if they raise the transitory occupancy tax, which is the hotel tax. So we'll see. Hopefully they do that and they decide to give themselves 7%, and our teachers and our staff, 7%. I think that would be a great reflection. And ultimately, when it comes down to the bills, $500 bill at an Airbnb would be increased by $10 by that 2%. So just to kind of put it in scope of what they could do for our community. So I don't know if there's still time to advocate for that, but they won't be voting on it until June. So, not a bad idea to call your rep if you feel strongly about that pushing that a little bit forward. So, yeah, that was all I had.
Well, thank you for all y'all that showed up. Thank you for the retirees and everybody that serves this system, this team. Thank you to the student rep. It's, that's who we're doing this for, the kids, the employees, and the community. And sometimes you lose sight of that when you're sitting here and you're going to these meetings and you're advocating for what you believe is the right thing for your team. And it's just hard sometimes to take into consideration how other people feel about your team. So, but I think we do a great job dealing with whatever is put in front of us. We found a superintendent that actually cares about her team. She cares about the community, and she's working hard to make her second year going into this a better year. And it's been a joy to have her, to work with her. I know the first budget season for her was not great because somebody didn't act accordingly, but we've gotten past that, and we're looking forward to more great things.
Yeah, it is hard to believe, this is the last meeting before the end of school. I mean, it's hard to believe that we're finishing up our first year with you, Dr. Hester, and lots of changes in the system over the past year, and I think it has been really the first kind of true full year since the pandemic, right? Like, we had this the year before, but it felt like we just weren't in that full school rhythm yet, and so I think it has been an incredibly successful year, and that's a tribute to our kids. It's a tribute to our staff, our administrators, all of you all. So kudos on an incredible, what I think is an incredible year this past year. Still a lot going on with school. We've had a busy week this past week with Golden Governor's Banquet, Samantha Day Banquet. You had scholarships last night. I know you'll report on that, but it's been really neat to see the culmination of your 12 years. You know, the kids' 12 years, and I still think there's really nothing cooler than the Golden Governor's Banquet when a kid really gets to highlight a staff member that was most impactful in their 12 years here. And that's a really special ceremony to be a part of and to get to watch. So we're closing on the end of the school year. If everybody can just hang in there, power through, get through testing, kill it, and then get to the summer and kind of recoup and recover. But thank you to each of you all in the role you played to get us to this point. It's been a pretty great year. All right, we are down now to the comments. Oh no, important dates. Important dates, school's over soon. How's that for first time? Graduation, don't forget, is May 26th. Depending on what our motion is on the item for action, the last day of school could be May 25th and not May 26th now. So just keep that a heads up. I think everybody at this point, it sounds like on the board, is intending to celebrate with the kids at graduation. So we will all be there to celebrate the hard work this past year with each of you. Any other important dates we need to make a note of?
It's my birthday, isn't June?
Yes. Pardon?
Is that the 18th?
19th. They made it a federal holiday.
Oh, okay.
It's
Mark's
Juneteenth.
birthday.
Juneteenth. It is.
It's okay. All right. Any other dates besides Margaret's birthday?
It's always the most important day.
It is. Okay. Kira, this is your last report to us. Congratulations.
So last weekend, the high school and middle school concert band and the high school show choir and the middle school concert choir traveled to Busch Gardens to compete in the Music in the Parks Festival. Each group that competed got first in their category with a superior rating, and some students and sections even got individual awards. And the high school FFA soils team traveled to Oklahoma last weekend for the national competition. One student who competed got, 97th place out of 400 individual contestants, and as a group, they placed 51st out of 93 teams. And last but not least, we did have the Golden Governor Banquet earlier this week, and I was very thankful to be able to attend that. And I think it's really great that students are able to come together and celebrate all their accomplishments. And I think it's also great that they get to commemorate the teachers that helped them in such a special way.
Thank you very much. Yeah, here, Kira, Margaret and the team said to make sure we share that Dr. Hester had this made special.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I'll make sure I get your one as well. I have it back in the office, so I appreciate it.
All righty. Dr. Hester.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you very much to our retirees. It's always great to be able to see individuals, and that's a big celebration. They've all gone off, started their retirement almost. So I appreciate that. Best of luck for your near future. I know the Golden Governor's ceremony. This is the second ceremony I've gotten to attend and be a part of, and it is really great. And just so students understand, it's incredibly meaningful to the staff, particularly the staff that get selected, because sometimes we don't always see that impact in a day, a week, a year, sometimes it's several years down the road. So to have a student come back and say, hey, thank you so much, you impacted me, it means more than I think you'll ever really know. And so I really greatly appreciate the thoughtfulness that students put into that, because it means a great deal. Just some community updates. We will be posting the 6-month review of our ESSER 3 plan, it's Return to Learn. So that will be posted on our website for public comments. It's a requirement every 6 months that we provide this opportunity for people to give us some feedback, along with our MOU with the Sheriff's Office for SROs. May is our last month, and just as you noticed, I mean, this is the last one before graduation, and it is chock full of events. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it to the middle school FFA ceremony tonight because this is when they were able to get that scheduled and get that in. A lot of athletic events finishing up. You know, springtime's always a little dicey with the weather, so you get your events in when you can. But we also have the 8th grade semi-formal coming up, so that's pretty exciting. On the 18th, we have senior walks. Mr. Walker has been working hard with everyone to organize the senior walks. And at the most recent staff superintendent advisory, they commented on how awesome it is. And they're not even the teachers of the seniors, but they get to see kids that they haven't seen for years. I was speaking to a mom who also serves as a substitute. She's like, I understand how these teachers feel. I feel like I'm losing my babies. They're graduating. These are kids that I substitute. And she goes, is this what teachers feel like every year? And it's like, yes. Every year, this is what it feels like when our kids either go on to the next grade or they graduate. And so to be able to have our community feel that like our teachers and our staff do, it's fantastic. We have our field days coming up and honor recognition nights coming up the last week of school. Promotions, 5th grade, kindergarten, all those promotions are coming up. You know, depending on the vote and how that goes, Thursday, May 25th could be the last day of school for the 22-23 school year. I just want to wish all of our graduates, you know, congratulations. They're candidates right now for graduation, but coming from a former high school principal, that was above and beyond my favorite event of the year. Is when you see those kids cross. Mr. Walker had a senior parent presentation yesterday where sometimes you don't know, am I going to get anybody to come to this? And you just saw parents, you know, flowing in because, you know, for our first time parents with graduates, it's scary. And even, you know, if they've had several kids and they're graduating, it's a very emotional time. It's very exciting. But, you know, as I try to say, you're ending a chapter. And it's just a chapter. You're not ending your book. You're ending your chapter. And you know, blank pages ahead of you to write whatever it is you want to write, and they'll be in charge of writing it, as opposed to up until now, it's kind of been written for them and to a certain degree, but now they go off and they can write their own chapters, and I just wish them the best of luck. And it'll be a wonderful event, and I appreciate the support of the school board in that event, because without that support, those students wouldn't have those experiences, and the staff wouldn't be as equipped to be able to give them those experiences, so I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yep, thank you. All righty. Do we have any comments from the public? Okay, comments. So now we're down to the consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as a whole unless there's any conversation?
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
May I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And abstained? The consent agenda is approved as a whole. So in items for information, we do this every month. We've got 2 new sets of meeting minutes, the first reading of the April 20th joint board meeting, as well as the first reading of the April 20th regular board meeting. Once you read those, if you have any corrections, adjustments, or anything that needs to be changed, please contact Tammy and let her know. We'll be voting on those next month. And then we're pathways to success. Dr. Hester, bring it on.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
All right, thing's a little sensitive today. All right. Okay, well, it has been a busy month, full of a lot of this. It seems to be like report month for a lot of different of our departments, but also this is where we start gearing up for next year as well. And so Ms. Irvin and her team has been working through various grants, and these are the opportunities that we have to bring in other monies, so we are not so reliant on trying to use just our local tax monies, but trying to have the creative way of getting other funds to be able to alleviate some of that pressure of funding. And so I just appreciate the efforts that all of our team puts into being able to find that money to be able to support us, because it really truly goes a long way of giving us everything that we really need to be successful. And so part of that is completing the first stage of the COPS grant, and what that helps to do is possibly fund weapons detections and equipment across the division. And coupled with that, Ms. Irvin and a few of us participated in a webinar for Zero Eyes, which is coupled with that weapons detection. But it's a pretty exciting opportunity to see what that can provide for us in a very non-invasive way. So we're pretty excited about that opportunity. Working through the budget, I come in and I harass Ms. Irvin every day about, like, what are you working on? And meanwhile, I forget she's working with numbers. And so I'm constantly asking, like, okay, where are we with this? Where are we with that? She's already, kind of gone through the spreadsheet and adjusted. And so she's done a great job with reworking the budget to reflect the 5% with the 0.5%, and really trying to build our budget back up. And it, it could be, late June when we find out what's going on. And so we're just going to have to do the best we can, maintaining everything and doing everything that we can, and demonstrating that our students deserve the very best from us, and we're going to do everything we can. Secured builder's risk policy for the roofing project, as well as working with an RFP for optional benefits and TSA administration, working through FOIA requests and various things that happen kind of all throughout the year, but also this time of year. So I just appreciate all the efforts. Instruction, we're still plugging on through. We've just hit kind of the heart of assessment time, whether it's APs or SOLs, end of course testing, but all these other events that take place, like kindergarten transition night that was held with our elementary schools, and getting the families and getting the kiddos here to be able to be a part of it, and kind of bringing them into our welcoming environments. So we just appreciate those efforts. VTSS, the Virginia Tiered Systems of Supports that we use with our students, and the coaching PD, and attended different various professional learning opportunities. The book bus that visited elementary schools, also participating and observing the BRVGS student projects. It's our governor's school where our students are able to put forth their capstone projects, which is a great deal of time and energy, and really, a huge grown-up activity. And the presentations and the projects that they put on are phenomenal, and really not reflective of high school work. It is really reflective of work beyond that level, and it's just really impressive. Not only our kids, especially our kids, but also all of those who participate in this. It's really a great job, and the work that Ms. Knight has done, and everybody has done, just appreciate it. And so there's just a lot of activities, particularly the FFA Feeds America program, where our Rockfish and Tide River students were able to visit the high school and work with a lot of our students. And pupil personnel, Dr. McCormick and her team, just really trying to continue to push that instruction, but also fulfilling all the reports. Flashlight Fridays, particularly at Tide River, where it gives kids an opportunity to reread books with flashlights, just to make sure they work on their fluency and improving reading skills. The various annual reports that we listened to our last meeting were submitted. We have our upcoming final prep meeting that takes place coming up pretty soon. Summer Content Academies, that's where our teachers are able to be supported and getting an opportunity to attend this free high-quality professional development at JMU. Students were able to enjoy prom. I mean, that's the highlight of a lot of students' high school experience, but let alone the latter junior or senior years, and being able to have an inclusive environment to be able to support all of our students to attend and have a good time. I appreciate it. Ms. Vest and Sarah Wells worked with transportation. You kind of see that. They worked with our transportation de-escalation strategies and training on full-day trainings that are provided to staff in order to help really advance our restraint and seclusion techniques and approaches. And then last but not least, also Dr. McCormick planning to attend the spring VCASE, or it's the Virginia Council of Administrators of Special Education, is coming up. So not only supporting our students, but supporting our staff in their professional growth. Human resources, I just want to thank Ms. Cho and everybody who's, all of our administrators and our human resources department do a fantastic job of recruiting, and then kind of going after the high-quality staff that we feel is going to be a fantastic fit for our schools and our students. And we're able to onboard a couple of positions that are pretty key positions, and all of the positions are, but really to kind of get these individuals early to start that process of getting them involved. But I really appreciated when we work with these individuals, when we bring them on, we want to know, okay, what is it that you find to be a great aspect of Nelson County Public Schools? And they're saying, like, we have welcoming school environments, and everybody knows that that is what is going to make a successful school division and school is the culture and the climate. So we have these welcoming environments that people want to be a part of. We have competitive salaries and benefits. We have the ability to answer the questions and answer them quickly. Very attentive department, and are able to kind of, if we don't know the answer, we're going to go find it and we're going to call them right back, and we're not going to let them drop. Very efficient interview process, very organized, and being able to ask the questions that we need to know, and really offering those opportunities for the staff to ask those questions that they need, and also support a school board. Little known facts of the things that teachers and administrators ask us is, what supports am I going to have when I get here? I'm a new teacher. Is there a mentoring program? Are there supports? And what kind of support does the board have of us? And it's just those questions that you really recognize the impact that everybody has, from the school board to every position that we hold. And so I thought that was really important. That's what's getting people here, and that's also what's going to keep them here, is the environments that are supportive, and understanding that they're a valued member of a family and a team. Thank you very much. And also, they're doing a fantastic job of filling the vacancies that we have. At the start of the school year, we started fully staffed. We've been able to get some unicorns. We've been able to get some positions that are hard to fill, and I just attribute that to the hard work of everybody who's a part of that, and just the tenaciousness that they go after. When they see something that they want, they're going to go after that, and I just appreciate that. In terms of technology, Mr. Cargill and his team have been continuing with their conference room projects, being able to put those panels up, particularly in the SPED classrooms. We're getting near the end of the school year, so that means Chromebook collection. So that is always a fun time to be able to organize the Chromebook collections. Continuing, it's a collaborative effort with the security grants being to install cables throughout spring break, but also those cable systems are going to be good for the new vape sensors, cameras, and messaging boards that will be important for the safety and security. The servers that are being replaced and put in there, ordering 3 new ones. Video projects and live streaming. I don't know if you've noticed, but Mr. Cargill has been burning the candle at both ends. He's been streaming the spring concerts for choir and band. He was streaming scholarship and awards banquets. He's been streaming all of these things. And he's prepping for the streaming of the high school graduation. So all of those items that go into it doesn't just happen the night before. It takes a lot of time of preparation, even doing these meetings. And so we just appreciate the work and support of he and his team. Maintenance, this is a busy time for our maintenance department. They are collaborating with the preparation for graduation, making sure that we're weeding the beds, we're getting any lights that need to be replaced, fixing anything that needs to take place. People like me going back and like, hey, can we paint this? Can we make sure? Because this is a special event. It's a special event for our kids. It's a special event for their families, and we really want to make it look nice and inviting and make them feel special. But also the process we've been working through CRG for the digital maps. This is going to go a long way when it comes to the safety and security, when we have all these digital maps and being able to identify where everything is. It takes a lot of work to be able to do this, and I appreciate Mr. Campbell and his crew and all the administrators helping out with this. It wasn't a small feat to be able to do this. It took a lot of time to walk through the schools and identify the rooms and their usage and what takes place. So I appreciate that. Maintenance had a demo of a battery-powered zero-turn lawnmower, as you see there in that picture, and just being able to go through and see what that can do, 21 acres or 8 hours worth of run time, and just really seeing how does this benefit us and see what the pricing would be. So just kind of neat to be able to demo things like that. In terms of transportation, this is a busy time. They are running teams and field trips, all over the place right now. So they are staying busy, but I really appreciate transportation being able to reach out and work with Dr. McCormick and her team to be able to say, how can we support our students more as well? because they're pretty integral in that piece, and being able to bring in Ms. Vest and as well as be able to provide that safety training. Also, this is pretty cool. It's kind of one of those things that you don't think is going to be overly exciting until you really think about how it impacts. At the end of April, we officially certified to test applicants for their CDL licenses. So we don't have to go travel anywhere to do that. So we're able to get that done and more accessible to local individuals to be able to do that. So they can test for their CDL Class B license with passenger school bus endorsements and air brakes. And this means that we can conduct the training here in-house without having to go somewhere. And it's taken a year to be able to get to this point. So it didn't just start to take place, but I just thank Mr. Ashley being creative and thoughtful about how can we improve all of our areas to better serve our students, but also our people. When we want to really support our professionals growing in their own right, it takes some creativeness to be able to do that and support them, so I appreciate it. Canal and her cafe crew, I just want to give a shout out to Rockfish. They were nominated for the No Kid Hungry School Lunch Hero Award for Region 5, and they won it. And so that's a big deal. This is a group of ladies that work really, really hard to provide a fun environment for the students, but also thinking to make sure what can they do to make sure all of our kids are supported. On May 5th, our school cafeteria celebrated Cinco de Mayo Day with taco pizzas and quesadillas. Also, they continue to seek creative ways to support new options, like using a grant for the Dairy Alliance for new equipment at the middle school and high school for slushies. And then as you see there on the right, we celebrated, I forget what day it was. I think it was last week. Oh yeah, May 5th. It was School Lunch Hero Day, where we celebrate our cafeteria workers. And so you see all those individuals on the right. And what I love about these pictures is they go all in. They go all in with a lot of the things that we do. Super school spirited and student centered, and they make it fun. And I think they make it fun for each other to work. And that's really what it's about. Also, summer 2023 PEBT. All students enrolled in Nelson County Schools will receive one due to the division being CEP 100%. So all of our students on a daily basis, if they go through the line, they can get a free breakfast and a free lunch. That's kind of, in short, what CEP is. And so that's really, really important. And so it will be a one-time benefit of $120 for each student in the month of July. So again, just going above and beyond to be able to support our students, families, and community. And that is all I have for the month of May's Pathways to Success.
There's a lot going on.
I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions? Margaret, you look like you got
I do have some questions, but I can't remember what they are right now. And I had them on going through.
I saw you writing stuff down, I know.
I wrote one thing down that I'm not
Okay.
gonna forget, but, just like, I'll call you. I mean, they're not really big questions, like I said, I can't remember what they are, but it's just like little stuff, so it's not a big deal.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Way to get through an incredible year with a lot of good things going on.
Yeah.
And just something in every department of the school is fantastic. It's not just one team doing well or instruction's doing well, HR's not, or maintenance. Everybody is doing incredibly good things all the time, so thank you all.
And
Their kids win.
they do, and really excited to see all of the One Nelson throughout. You know, the people that work in with food service, and you know, you just see it everywhere. So, really cool.
You know, years ago when we all kind of started on this adventure together, one thing we said was we really needed to work on marketing and branding, right? Let people know who we are and what we're doing well, and I think you're doing that One Nelson, you're doing a great job doing that, and thank you. I think people recognize it. It's really cool to go in the community and see the One Nelson shirts or whatever.
Right.
Well, that's what makes it easy, you know, is when people get behind it, it makes it really easy to kind of get behind it. I think that's one of my favorite things going in, especially on Fridays. You see it a lot on Fridays, is going into the schools and seeing the green everywhere, and that's really fun for me because it's not always like that's not pushed out from my office all the time. There's been a few times throughout the year, but it's just that spirit behind, and I think that really helps breathe air and life into some things, and just makes some things fun.
I agree. Okay, Mrs. Irvin, you're going to give us an update on school construction and some fun stuff. You're working your magic as always.
You might actually want to hear from me this
We
time.
always want to hear from you. We want to see what kind of magic you have done this go round.
Yeah, I know budget is usually not y'all's favorite topic,
Nope.
but this is kind of good news though. A while back, we filed an application with the Department of Education for the School Construction Assistance Program. We learned today that we were one of 28 divisions that were funded. And actually, we were the last division funded because our local fiscal stress designation was considered below average. And so we scored 65 points on our application, which was their cutoff. And we were awarded $2,451,007.
Wow. That's fantastic.
The flip side of that is that the project that we submitted on was the high school renovation of an anticipated cost of $517,032. So we've committed ourselves to that.
Right.
We have issued an RFP for a facility study. That is due back tomorrow at 3 o'clock. We already have one respondent who has submitted a box of information that I've not opened yet. We'll be opening that at 3. And so at least we have an architect that's willing to work with us and a project that's been approved. So congratulations to the board.
Congratulations.
Good
Good job.
Good job. Thank
One of these days, we need to put down all of the grants that she's gotten, help us get over the years from beginning to end, and see how much money she's provided if we can.
I mean, sometimes it's just the willingness to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's, you know, we know what, this is what we need, and we're gonna go ask for it. And, you know, we're already sitting at no, so let's go ask for it and try to get that. So I appreciate that. It's time spent, but I think in the end it's well spent.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Well, and that trickles down. I mean, that's the one thing we talk about One Nelson and the partnership with their board members and the county administrator's office and all that, that the more you do and are able to secure with your magic, the less we have local responsibility on.
Sure.
So it's, I mean, it really is, it helps not just our kids, but it helps our community as well, so.
Well, think about the enhanced safety grants that
Right.
Yeah.
that Irvin's been able to secure, and we would have been going hat in hand asking for that money anyway, if not for this.
Right.
Absolutely. And
Every
then,
time we
I mean,
don't have to do that.
the more important part is, we provide an environment, you know, we say safety is a priority, we are able to provide that environment for our kids the best we can.
And we can build off of the technologies that she's found
Yeah.
recently. So, you know, those dollars do go further than people see, and they do impact our kids and safety of our kids.
You're exactly right. When we go to these VSBA meetings, it's always interesting to me to see that people are saying, oh, we're starting with whatever this is, this thing we're gonna do, and, you know, this team has already done it years ago. I mean, for Nelson, we've been involved in whether that's a technology or whether that's a program we offer, and so it's just Shannon and your team continuing to keep us at the forefront of doing things really well. Okay, Mrs. Kim Douglas, bring your magic on too. You're gonna give us an update on Title I.
I'll be quick. Nelson's currently part of the Albemarle Regional Migrant Education Program, and we want to continue that for the upcoming school year. Migrant identification and services are provided by the migrant specialists through this program, and services include facilitating communications, transportation, English instruction in the migrant camps, tutoring, parent training, and family literacy. The school division wants to continue that with Albemarle Regional Program support for 23-24 for our students, and that's part of Title I, Part C. At this time, the allocations have not been released for the region, but we don't get specific allocations for our division, we get it for a regional use. Any questions? All right, and all we need is board approval and a signature. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Good
Love
enough.
that presentation.
Kim, that one might be the quickest one you've ever
I know.
done.
I
For those that missed it, Kim had an incredibly, well, I think everybody was here for it, the entertaining presentation on her retiree. Okay, so guys, we're in items for action. We're gonna take each of these individually. The first one up will be the Title I Part C Education of Migratory Children Plan and approval for 2023-2024. May I have a motion to,
I move that we approve the 2023-2024 Title I Part C Education of Migratory Children Plan.
second?
Second.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Anyone abstain? The motion is passed. Next, we have a motion to approve the surplus vehicles for auction. Any questions about any of that?
Promotion that we approve the surplus vehicles for auction.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Anyone abstain? The motion is passed. And then we also had a religious exemption request. May I have a motion to approve that religious exemption request?
I move that we approve the religious exemption request as presented.
Second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
I said aye.
Those are abstained. Okay.
I'm not,
The religious exemption
Got it.
request has been
We
approved.
understand.
I'm not against homeschooling at all, you know, but I feel like that sometimes the religious exemption part relieves accountability, which I think is important for the community to be able to make sure that there are kids that are actually being taught. So that's the only reason I'm on the fence about that one, because I just feel like it's not necessarily, bringing it back so that we're making sure that the kid is receiving the services that they need. So, it's just, doesn't have anything to do with it being religious or whatever, it's just that part, so.
The accountability.
Yeah,
That's
because,
fair.
the more, well, anyway,
That's fair.
that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, so we will need to go into closed meeting. We're gonna need to go in for personnel, student, and consultation.
What about the additional?
Oh, right, we have another
Oh,
additional.
yes, thank
that's
you.
right.
I'm sorry, thank you. May I have a motion to approve the amended school calendar to close school on May 25th?
Are you gonna do it? No, I'll do it.
Add it to the agenda.
Right, to add it
No.
back.
No, we already added it to the agenda.
did.
We have to vote for it.
Now we gotta vote on
Okay.
it. Okay, so can I have a motion?
Can you do it?
Again?
I can.
We'll do it.
Roll on.
Okay. I move that we remove Friday, May 25th, 6th, I'm sorry, as a regular school day from the school calendar and make Thursday, May 25th, the last day of the school year.
May I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor? Opposed?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just
Anyone
joking.
abstained? Okay,
Aye.
so the motion to end school on May 25th has passed. All right, now, thank you for that reminder. May I please have a motion to go into closed meeting per Virginia Code for personnel, student, and consultation with legal counsel?
Sorry about that. I move that the school board go into closed meeting to discuss and consider student matters as authorized by Virginia Code 2.2-3711A2 for purposes of discussion or consideration of admission or disciplinary matters or any other matters that would involve the disclosure of information contained in a scholastic record concerning students, to discuss and consider the personnel positions for the Nelson County Public Schools and or other confidential personnel matters as authorized by Virginia Code 2.2-3711A1 for purposes of discussion or consideration or interviews of prospective candidates for employment, assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salaries, disciplining, or resignation of specific public officers, appointees, or employees of any public body, and to discuss legal matter with counsel as authorized by Virginia Code 2.2-3711A8 for consultation with legal counsel employed or retained by the school board regarding a specific legal matter or matters requiring the provision of legal advice by such counsel.
May I have a second?
Yeah, we should second.
Okay.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? We're now in closed session. Thank you all.
Thank
Hang in
you.
there.
Yeah.
You're in the final lap.
Okay, anyone who's not here, that's your head.
Hey.
You know when we grew up.
Okay, we're good.